the 11th ranked passing offense in America. And it's David Fales at quarterback. His first year at San Jose State after spending a couple of years at Monterey Peninsula College at the junior college level, originally enrolled at Nevada. And Danny, they sounded even surprised at this stage in the season to still be talking about the level of success he's had this year.
It's amazing. Just in his first year of this offense, with the efficiency and the accuracy with which he throws the football, 72% of his passes he completes.
They'll go empty 5 wide on first down.
It's a fun offense to watch. They spread it around to a lot of different weapons, wide open, throwing it all over the place.
And it's a play-action fake after they shift it into the eye. Long throw to the sideline, on time to Noel Grigsby. And that's plenty good enough for a first down and a gain of 15. Gabe Martin was there to bump Grigsby out, but already David Fales, #1 in America in completion percentage at 72%. And he's 1 for 1 today.
And that's what you'll see. You'll see him make quick, decisive decisions, getting the ball out of his hands. And he's going to have to do that. This Bowling Green defense, their front seven can get after the quarterback. They can pressure Fales. He'll have to make quick decisions all day long. A little bit of an issue getting lined up here early in the game for San Jose State.
Tyler Irvin now in the game at tailback. He was out the last 4 games with a shoulder injury. He's also a terrific return man. And he motions to the near side. Instead, it's a throw to the far side. Offline, intended for Grigsby. It'll be second down and 10. A blitz came from Dwayne Woods. He got some pressure on Fales.
That's the best way to disrupt a quarterback who is so efficient like Fales is. That's to knock him down as frequently as you can throughout the game. Try to throw off that rhythm throughout the afternoon. If he's comfortable in the pocket, he will pick you apart.
I don't know.
A toss to Irvin. And he's brought down for no gain. It'll be third down and 10. Dwayne Woods bumped Irvin out as we take a look at the impact players for the Spartans.
Fales has several weapons on the outside. The tight end Ryan Otten is a stud at that position. And then the all-time leading receiver in catches and yardage is Noel Grigsby. And then defensively, Travis Johnson, the WAC Defensive Player of the Year. He certainly knows how to get after the quarterback as well.
First team all-WAC wide receiver, leading the team across the board in catches, yards, and touchdowns, Noel Grigsby. Good pocket for Fales on third down and 10, and a big hit on Ryan Otten. Incomplete pass. That was a pop delivered by DJ Lynch, and Otten stays on the ground, and it'll be fourth down and 10.
Ryan Otten started off in the slot. They'll split him out. He's very athletic, he's big, he's tall. Fales loves to find him, especially on third down, like he does here. Brings in that catch, and just if you saw the collision there with number 7, DJ Lynch.
Ruled an incomplete pass on the field. Very close to Otten controlling the ball, having it jarred free, and maybe calling that a completion and a fumble, but that was DJ Lynch, the sophomore from Pontiac, Michigan.
What I thought was a pretty clean hit, too. I don't think he led with his helmet. I think he tried to lead with the shoulder, and that was a good job of breaking up the pass and giving just a solid football play out there to break up that pass play, and possibly even, like you mentioned, Bob, of causing a fumble. But Otten, I don't know if he quite had possession long enough.
Well, it's good to see Otten get up and make his way off the field. Now, he has a Senior Bowl invite, the first ever for a San Jose State player to be invited to the Senior Bowl. So he obviously is on the radar screen of the NFL. No flag out, as getting bumped down was Harrison Wade, the punter. Ryan Burbrink makes a fair catch inside his own 25-yard line. And I think Harrison Wade's got something to say.
I think he's fired up about that. He needs to calm down a little bit. But let's see if he's got a case. See him, he gets the punt off. Then a little bit high. Gets hit. If I have a little talk with a coach saying, hey, we got to keep our cool, keep our composure out there. Incidental contact is what the officials are saying. And that's what it looked like to me, too.
Now it's Matt Schultz at quarterback, taking over and drawing with a hard count, a jump into the neutral zone by Travis Johnson.
Offside, defense, number 43. 5-yard penalty, first down.
It's a great neutralizer as well for a pass rusher like Travis Johnson. He's been around. He's a senior. You know he's going to be amped up for this game. You try to use that energy against him by using a hard snap count early.
So on 1st and 5, Schultz, the junior from Arcadia, California, 14 touchdowns against 12 interceptions this season, and they'll start on the ground with Anton Samuel. And he's into the secondary with a first down. A gain of 6. And just like that, Bowling Green moves the chains. Now, Schultz did not put up terrific numbers this season, but Dave Clawson had a variety of reasons as to why he thinks the numbers Schultz put up probably not indicative of how good a year he might have had.
Yeah, he mentioned in large part due to the wide receiving core that they lost a lot of guys to graduation and dealt with some injuries, and they're still kind of figuring out their identity as an offense, but can't deny that he's won games.
Samuel buried behind the line, no chance. Benet Benwickery, first team all-WAC corner, came on a run blitz and dropped Samuel for a loss of a couple. Now it's 2nd down and long.
Yeah, Samuel had a nice gain on that first play of the game. That time, nice job recognition by number 21, Benet Benwickery. Pretty solid stop right there. And this is the type of situation that Bowling Green does not want to find themselves in. They're not built for these types of situations. 2nd and 12, they need to kind of stay on schedule.
4-man rush and a slant. That is bobbled and dropped. Chris Callen had it in his hands, and it was jarred free by Ronnie Yell. So now it will be 3rd down and 12 after we take a look at the Bowling Green impact players.
Anton Samuel, we saw him get a couple carries early. He kind of shores up the run game. But defensively, Chris Jones, the MAC Defensive Player of the Year, is a beast on the defensive side of the ball. And then the surprise of the season for them at the rover position is number 11, Gabe Martin. He's had an exceptional season in his first year starting as well for the Bowling Green defense.
Designed rollout for Schultz. Throws across his body, and it's dropped. Should have been a room service interception for Ronnie Yell, and he dropped the ball.
Well, it should have been a room service first down. He had a wide open receiver behind the defense, and Schultz just could not get it there over the defender. The ball came up short. He was on the run. Now, there is a significant wind out in the field. There is some severe wind gust. Not quite sure. You see him trying to hit the deep corner, but did not get it over Ronnie Yell.
Well, Ronnie Yell is going to have a chance to flash those hands again. He's back deep to receive the punt. Brian Schmidtabush averaged about 42 yards a kick this season. This one's wobbly. And Yell waves his teammates away from the football, and it takes a Bowling Green roll down close to the 20-yard line before it runs out of steam. So Bowling Green and San Jose State off to a early on here in the first quarter. San Jose State at 10-2 on the season, finished 2nd in the WAC, the final season of the WAC, to Utah State. Ryan Otten back on the field after being knocked out of the game on the last offensive possession. And of course, Bowling Green at 8-4, 6-2 in 2nd place in the MAC Eastern Division. Elion Eskridge, the Minnesota transfer, with his first carry of the game, and he picks up 3. Charlie Walker was there to bring him down as we take a look at Danny Cannell's San Jose State Spartan keys.
Well, for David Fales, he's got to spread it around. We've already talked a lot about Ryan Ott, Noel Grigsby. He's got a plethora of guys he can get the ball to, so he needs to utilize all of them. And then defensively, they just need to kind of keep the Bowling Green offense in check. They're not a high-powered offense that's going to put up a lot of points. They just cannot afford to give up a big play.
Three-man rush on 2nd and 7. Fales well protected, all kinds of time. High throw over the middle, and there's Otten to pull it in. He picks up 14 yards and a Spartan first down.
I watched some film of this San Jose State offense, and Ryan Otten just jumped off the film at me how well he plays the position of tight end, and with the athleticism and hands with which he plays. That one, an exceptional catch. The ball's a little bit behind him, manages to corral it in. And don't forget, the series before, he got blown up. Knew that's in the back of his mind, able to block that out and make that big catch.
A fake on the speed draw to Chandler Jones. Down the sideline, it's Tyler Irvin. He pulls it in, takes a heavy hit, and holds on at the Bowling Green 33. DJ Lynch tried to stay with Tyler Irvin, but the speed of the tailback too much on the wheel route down the sideline.
It was interesting. I heard a Bowling Green defender or coach call it out, say, hey, watch the wheel route. And Bowling Green kind of knew it was coming and still couldn't defend it. That's the type of player Tyler Irvin is. He's an incredibly athletic running back. He's sort of the big playmaker for this San Jose State offense.
Ryan Lindgren told us now that Irvin is back from injury, they're going to find ways to get him the football today. Play action again for David Fayes. High throw, wide open, inside the 10, walking into the end zone, Kyle Nunn with a San Jose State touchdown.
Boy, what a beautiful route by Kyle Nunn. Watch him work the post route right there, then breaks it off to the corner. Fayes delivers it perfectly thrown ball to the outside. And that's just exceptional throw and catch right there for San Jose State. You see the result? A touchdown puts them up early.
A knuckleball from the
first cover, because it is that reminder, and it's a good tribute to our armed forces.
Austin Lopez forced to kick off. Harrison Wade, the punter, might have a rib injury. He's over on the sideline, and here's Boo Boo Gates from the 15-yard line. He breaks free. A flag down. Wade tried to punch him out, or rather Lopez tried to bump him out at midfield and could not. And Gates is all the way down to about the 37-yard line if it stands, but this will be coming back holding against Bowling Green on the return.
Illegal block in the back, receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, first down.
So that will back Bowling Green up. Now Harrison Wade normally kicks off, and you could see Austin Lopez only got the ball to about the 15-yard line. He's also the punter. Let's go back to when he thought he was roughed by Bowling Green on his first punt attempt, maybe favoring the ribs a bit there, but during his protest to the officials, it seems like he's fine here.
He was fired up. I think I know where he hurt his rib cage.
Right here?
Or whatever he hurt. He threw the helmet down with some violent force. That could have been what did it.
So that might be the first time a punter has ever been knocked out of a game with an injury sustained during an argument with the officials. Matt Schultz wants to go downtown, throws one off his back foot, and it's still good enough to reach Chris Gallen to the 42-yard line of San Jose State. A gain of 28.
Oh, and Bowling Green going with play action on first down. Love the play call. Chris Gallen, you see him in the slot right there, coming across the field, a deep crossing route. And Schultz, under pressure, just lofts it up and lets Gallen run underneath it for a nice gain for Bowling Green. Now, mind you, this Bowling Green offense has struggled throughout the middle portion to the latter half of the season, but in large part, Schultz has been kind of nursing some injuries. He's healthy today, so maybe we'll see them open it up a little bit more.
Bubble screen to the near side to Ryan Burbring. He breaks a tackle, and he's got another first down, a gain of 13. Ben Wickery there to trip him up as we take a look at Danny Cannell's keys for Bowling Green.
Well, for Bowling Green offensively, they need to get off to a fast start like they're doing on this drive. Didn't so much on the first drive, but put some points on the board.
Try a screen to the other side. This time it's Samuel, the running back. He's got 9 more. It'll be second down and 1. Were you expecting Bowling Green to go this up-tempo this early?
I think they'll mix up the tempo a little bit. I don't think that's what they're going to be doing the entire game. I think they like to huddle and they like to kind of regroup, but against a team like San Jose State, who's got a great defense in their own right, you try to do this to throw them, keep them on their heels, and try to dictate the momentum of the game. I love it. I like teams that go up-tempo, that don't huddle. I'm a big fan of it.
tripped up. Maybe a gain of a half yard. Very close to a first down. We'll have to see where they put the football down. Doug Parrish tripped him up. There's also a flag down on the play.
Holding, offense, number 52. 10-yard penalty, replay second down.
That's Dominic Fluell, and the left guard called for holding, and that changes things radically. Now it's second down and 11.
Yeah, a couple penalties. Of course, you had one on the return, and then this one here really setting Bowling Green back. They were going to have great field position, then had the nice pass play. And Bowling Green right now kind of settling into this bowl game. You know, they've had a lot of time off, so you'd expect some mistakes early on, some penalties, but they need to get them out of their system and get into the flow of this game.
31st second start at quarterback for Matt Schultz. Played through back spasms for most of the year. Throws one to the sideline and has a connection with Chris Gallen, who Dave Clawson told us he is shocked after his freshman year on the scout team last year. He was ready to send him back to Florida. He grew up in Orlando, but said he had a great spring, a phenomenal summer camp, and now as a redshirt freshman, a player he basically had, after a year on the scout team, thought had no future with the program, becomes his leading receiver.
Yeah, and Dave Clawson also just happens to run that scout team offense, so he gets a first-hand look at guys. Said he was not expecting this quick of a statement from Chris Gallen. He's having a great game so far early here.
Smart play by Schultz. On third down and 1, pulled a Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And snuck up behind the line, saw a little separation, quick snap, and a quarterback sneak.
It was great. The wide receivers on the outside didn't even know what was going on. They were still looking for a play call, but Schultz, you see him 35 consecutive starts. Here's the receivers. Look at them. They're looking over the sideline. They're waiting for a play, and then Schultz, he says, hey, I can get this on my own real quick. Very alert play for Bowling Green to get that first down.
Is that a check with me at the line?
Probably. That's probably what he's looking over there, and I'm sure they have some sort of signal that says to Schultz, go ahead, take it yourself.
Play action for Schultz. He wants the equalizer, end zone. Incomplete. Alex Baer, who's a terrific tight end in his own right for Bowling Green, got tied up. It'll be second down and 10.
We saw San Jose State work the ball down the field on a wheel route. That was a similar route by the Bowling Green tight end. I think Matt Schultz tried to throw a little back shoulder type throw because Alex Baer was pretty well covered, but sometimes those back shoulder fades are so tough to defend. Even if a guy looks covered, still just give him a chance.
7th play of the drive on second down and 10. Samuel dodges a tackler in the backfield. He turned nothing into something, at least picked up 3. Keith Smith, first team all-WAC inside linebacker, made the tackle. It'll be third down and 7 from just inside the 15.
Interesting there, Anton Samuel, the running back. Saw him just avoid 1 or 2 guys, and that's what their coaches, Bowling Green's coaches, raved about, his ability to make guys miss in tight space, and that's exactly what you saw right there. Things look kind of bottled up in the line of scrimmage. He made a couple guys miss, avoided a tackle for loss, and kept him in a better situation here on third down.
He's only a sophomore. This whole group of skill position players is coming back for Bowling Green. Schultz, long throw to the outside, on time at the 5-yard line. It's Sean Joplin. First and goal for Bowling Green.
Well, I tell you what, Matt Schultz, I think he really has benefited from being off for almost a month. Coming into this game, it allowed him to get healthy. His arm looks pretty live here this afternoon, and this is somebody who's played through a lot of pain. I mean, I know I've had back issues, back spasms. That is no fun to deal with. He's been playing hurt most of the year, winning games, taking whatever it's taken to win, but now they're letting this offense open it up a little bit.
Plenty of time on the play clock, first and goal. Schultz under some pressure, tripped up, and he'll go down. Travis Ricidi, 8.5 sacks now on the season. And that's a loss of about 3. That's the strength of both of these defenses.
Oh, it really is. Travis Ricidi right here on the inside. Watch him come through this Bowling Green offensive line, which has struggled. He just goes right around the right guard, who really struggled that time trying to block him. That was just a speed rush right around him. Schultz had no chance to do anything with the football.
Pass rush could be the key number to watch for both teams all day, as we have 2 of the top 10 sack defenses in the nation in this game. Samuel uses the stiff arm and gets bottled up. No gain, maybe lost a half yard. Now it's going to be 3rd and goal from the 10. David Catalano stretched it out and helped bring down Samuel.
Sometimes you can make one guy miss, but when you've got 3 defenders bearing down on you that are in pretty good position, that time was just too much for Samuel to overcome. And now in a 3rd down situation, this is where Bowling Green has got to be careful with the football. They want to make sure they leave here with something positive. They want to make sure they get at least a field goal, avoid a sack or a turnover in this situation.
Schiltz buying time. Floats it in the end zone. Incomplete. Ryan Burbrink looked like the intended receiver. He got tripped up.
Well, it's we talked about Schiltz. The season they've had a little bit up and down, not the most impressive stats. In large part, he hasn't been protected that well either. Took some pressure there, was flush from the pocket, but made a good decision, getting rid of the football, getting it out of bounds, letting his field goal kicker hopefully get 3 points for Bowling Green.
We said last night to Dave Clawson, who's going to kick field goals tomorrow? He was like, I don't know. So it's actually going to be Tyler Tate that will try this one. 5 of 8 on the season, as he and Steven Stein have gone back and forth with the field goal kicking duties. That looked pretty good. Tyler Tate right down the middle from 28 yards away. And that gets Bowling Green on the board here in the Military Bowl. Experience for both of these teams, Danny, this week. Both of the coaching staff, some of the players couldn't speak highly enough about the experience that those that set up the Military Bowl gave both teams. They've really enjoyed their time here this week.
There's so much history to see and take in. There's great sightseeing.
That's a mistake as Anthony Farinella hooks the kick out of bounds. So it'll be good field position for San Jose State. And the Rose Bowl game is on ESPN New Year's Day. Senior running back Monte Ball leads the Badgers against the vaunted D of the Cardinals. The granddaddy of them all comes your way. The Rose Bowl game presented by Vizio. Wisconsin, number 6, Stanford. Coverage begins at 4:30 on ESPN, also live on the Watch ESPN app New Year's Day. Badgers, Cardinal. It's an old-fashioned Rose Bowl matchup.
Excited to watch. San Jose State actually played Stanford opening game of the season, gave them a really good run for their money, only lost 20-17. Actually had a couple opportunities to win that game, so it kind of shows you how tough the San Jose State team is.
Ina, right up the middle for about 2 yards. And some pushing and shoving after the whistle. We asked Kent Bear, what hairdo was Ina going to come out with today? You said sometimes he likes to go with the dreadlocks. He said, well, he might not go dreadlocks tomorrow.
He might have the big fro. It's
there
interesting.
It is.
Watching film, it was kind of hard to see his number out there because he has the hair coming out the helmet. It's hard to see sometimes.
Do you need to see the number on Ina,
well,
Leah Ina, to know it's him?
Figure it out. It's him. You don't even have to look for the number.
That hair would make a lot of guys jealous. Jabari Carr about a yard shy of the first down.
I think you're seeing early how San Jose State utilizes all their weapons. We've seen several guys make big catches outside. Of course, Kyle Nunn had the touchdown, but their tight end Ryan Otten, they utilize him outside in the slot. Use him. They can basically run a 4 wide receiver set with 3 wide receivers and a tight end because of Ryan Otten's athleticism at the tight end position.
Bales has completed balls to 5 different receivers. This time a toss instead to Irvin, and he's going nowhere on 3rd and a yard now. Well, there is the strength of this Bowling Green team coming to the fore as they come up to make the stop.
That
Ted Ouellette makes the tackle.
That penetration right there was pretty impressive by the Bowling Green front 7. You're just going to see great reaction by a lot of these guys coming up, recognizing the run. Number 93, you see him penetrating the line of scrimmage, makes the run stop right there. And that was the biggest concern for San Jose State, was the physicality of Bowling Green's defense.
Look who's back. Harrison Wade, and he has it blocked. To check that, Austin Lopez has it blocked. And it's inside the 20 down to about the 24-yard line. So the big play on special teams for Bowling Green as Austin Lopez, normally the place kicker, the backup punter in for the injured Harrison Wade, and Gabe Martin gets the punt block. Great field position for Bowling Green.
Number 11, you see him coming right through the middle, goes right through the wall, gets that right hand up. And if you're that front three protecting the punter, you've got to do a better job getting a body on Gabe Martin. And I don't know if you remember, when Harrison Wade, when there was that close call, they were pretty close on blocking that punt as well.
Anton Samuel finds a cutback lane. Good hard run down at the 16-yard line for a gain of 8.
They're a little chippy out there, too.
Yeah, there's some pads popping and some tempers flaring.
You know, during the bowl experience, you get to interact with some of the other team, and sometimes, you can talk a little smack, you get to see some of those guys. Sometimes you see some of that frustration maybe starting to come to the forefront here and when it actually comes time to take the field. Usually it's all good-natured, of course, though, Bob.
I understand. Turned out to be a gain of 7 on first down, so 2nd down and 3. Samuel, that's an interesting play. Counter motion into the backfield. He comes up a yard shy of the first down. Pete Smith wasn't as impressed with it as I was. It'll be 3rd down and 1.
You know, Dave Clausen, Bowling Green's head coach, he talked about the luncheon that was yesterday. That's always a pregame experience. He said, they're raving about all the accomplishments for San Jose State, saying, hey, our guys kind of got fired up by listening to all the accolades that they were rambling, going on about San Jose State. He said his guys fired them up, gave them a little bit extra motivation this afternoon.
3rd down and 1. Bowling Green trying to keep the drive alive after the block punt. Samuel won't get there. Extra effort, but that will not get him inside the 15-yard line. Now it's going to be 4th down and 1, and a decision for Dave Clausen to make. Most likely he'll have the break between the 1st and 2nd quarter to decide what he wants to do. Travis Ricidi made the tackle. Do you take the field goal and make it a 1-point game, or do you go for it after the block punt?
It's very interesting. When we asked Dave Clausen about his kicking game, said they had struggled earlier in the year, he said he would probably go for it. I think now with the solid kick that Tyler Tate had the first time, he'd take the points.
We'll see what Dave to that wind as the decision by Dave Clausen while we were away, go for the field goal and try and take the points. And another smooth one right down the middle for Tyler Tate. So what do you think of the decision by Bowling Green? You kind of endorsed it as we went to commercial. Take the points if they're there. Having said that, as good as Bowling Green's defense is, they have to score some touchdowns, you think, to win this game.
I think you got to look at Coach Clausen and this Bowling Green team and their identity. I mean, he talked about it after a rough start to the season. They found that identity, which was solid defense. Don't do anything too crazy on offense. Try to get points where you can get them. Don't take too many risks. I think that's exactly what you saw play out there. They're relying on their defense, which is so impressive, to continue shutting down San Jose State offensively.
Dave Clausen in his 4th year at Bowling Green. Tremendous improvements over the last several years. He had 16 scholarship seniors as starters his first season 4 years ago, and they went 7-6. Then he lost all of that talent, had to rebuild. They went from 2-10 in his 2nd year to 5-7 last year to 8-4 and 6-2 in the MAC this year and back in a bowl game.
That was great when he talked about the 2-10 year. Said he had a specific game plan to redshirt some guys that he knew would be impact players later.
Another short kickoff. Eamon Ogburn out to about the 31-yard line. Well, Capital One Bowl Week continues tomorrow with 3 more games. At 2 Eastern, Ohio takes on Louisiana Monroe in the Advocare V100 Independence Bowl. And then at 5:30, Rutgers, tied for the nation's longest current bowl win streak, takes on Virginia Tech in the Russell Athletic Bowl down in Orlando. And then at 9, it's Minnesota and Texas Tech squaring off in the Meineke Car Care Bowl of Texas. Capital One Bowl Week tomorrow on ESPN, also live on Watch ESPN. Fales quickly underneath again. He's got another hookup. A gain of 8 to Jabari Carr. As we take a look at our statistics to this point, 1-point lead for San Jose State. And David Fales, so far, Danny's been very efficient.
Yeah, absolutely. He's done a great job distributing the ball around. It's on one series where they struggle a little bit, but Bowling Green also, Matt Schiltz coming to play too.
Fales throws to the outside to Leaina, and it looks like he's got a first down. Right at the first down marker, brought down by Gabe Martin. Tried to stretch the ball across the 41-yard line, and it is a San Jose State first down.
That play right there is an example of David Fales, the quarterback for San Jose State, why he is so efficient. On that play, went through his entire progression, was able to come out to his last option on the play, which extended the play, got a first down for San Jose State.
Chris Jones is too good to get that kind of a head start. It'll be a false start.
Offense, number 54. 5-yard penalty, first down.
But I tell you what, if you're a center and your task is to block Chris Jones all day long, I'd be trying to get every little edge I could too. He wants that ball out of his hands.
Tied for 4th in the country in sacks, tied for 8th in the country in tackles for loss, 12.5 sacks. As a defensive tackle, 12.5 sacks. Low throw right at the 45-yard line, and it's scooped up by Grigsby. A gain of 10.
A lot of rhythm and timing throws for David Fales. That time finds his favorite receiver, Noel Grigsby. And they run really crisp routes for him, too. This offense is well coached.
About a half-yard shy of the first down, and brought down now a full yard shy of the first down is Carr. So it is going to be 3rd down at about 1.5 yards, just shy of midfield. Again, David Fales, #1 in the country in completion percentage at 72%. Only Geno Smith at West Virginia and Seth Dagey at Texas Tech have completed over 70% of their balls this season. So it's only a 3-man race
and now he's
for that
out.
title.
Now they got a little wildcat formation. All for show.
A little French pastry as they fake the wildcat. Fales under pressure, avoids a sack, dumps it off somehow to Eskridge, but he loses about 8 yards. Chris Jones got pressure right in the face of David Fales. Well, Fales kept his completion percentage high.
Yes,
that is a completion, but that's going to force a punt.
That was really impressive there by David Fales, just finding a way to get rid of that ball. That pocket collapsed on him right away. Here comes Chris Jones coming right at you, splits a double team, doesn't get to the quarterback, disrupts him enough to force that check down pass.
Here's Austin Lopez, had the last one blocked, but flags down.
False start, offense, number 6. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Still, like we talked about earlier, both these teams, you've had some time off. You're kind of getting back in the flow of things. Special teams, you probably don't spend a tremendous amount of time doing live drills as a punt unit. So everybody's kind of getting back in the field.
And the disruption to your coaching staff as well. Mike McIntyre already had accepted the job at Colorado, so he's not coaching the bowl game. It's Kent Baer as the interim head coach. And that lands in no man's land at about the 30-yard line. Somehow stays in bounds. And finally rolls out well inside the 30.
The fadeaway over the 7-footer, but credit to Kashmir Wright for knocking it down, and that's Cincinnati with a win. Dramatic win.
College football from our nation's capital. Papa Schusen, Danny Cannell, Quinn Kesnick, and the rest of our ESPN crew. It's the Military Bowl presented by Northrop Grumman. And it's a 1-point game early here in the second quarter at RFK. Two teams that had terrific regular seasons and have had a great bowl experience this week as well. Bowling Green to the offense at their own 24-yard line. They stack 3 receivers And what has to be, I would think, Danny, kind of a confusing assignment-related defensively, but then they hand it off to Anton Samuel, and he's brought down for no gain.
Sometimes it can be for window dressing as well. Try to distract the defensive a little bit. When you see that stack set, as a secondary player, you got to make sure you communicate who's got who.
Vince Bourgeois brings the ball carrier down. He's a first-team All-WAC. That inside linebacker for San Jose State. Second down. And a long 9, close to 10. A slant caught by Gallen, and he reaches for a first down out to the 36.
Like, Chris Gallen is really impressive. We talked about him earlier. He's made a few nice catches, but his size is the thing that I like about him. He's 6'4", 220 pounds. He's a big physical target on the outside. How about this formation right here? A little Emery and Henry that Steve Spurrier made so famous. Of course, a little more window dressing. Bringing it back in tight.
These offensive coordinators have a lot of time on their hands, don't they?
When they have a month off, that's the kind of stuff they can do.
And it ends up being a sweep to Samuel that has no chance. Travis Johnson, the WAC Defensive Player of the Year, led a gang tackling group from the Spartans to bring down Samuel for a loss of 4. Second down and long.
Travis Johnson actually did split outside when left tackle split out wide too, but didn't faze him much when he got back into his stance. Was able to shut down that run. Travis Johnson, we got to talk to him yesterday. He's an impressive young man. If he gets the right opportunity, and then NFL could have a nice career at the next level.
Blitz coming on 2nd and 14. And Schultz beats it to the outside to Gallen. 1 yard shy of a first down. So it will be 3rd down and 1 at the 45, a gain of 13.
Bowling Green right now is finding Chris Gallen getting isolated one-on-one situations, and they're taking advantage of it. I think San Jose State's going to have to give whatever corner is on Chris Gallen some help over the top. Gallen right here.
And John Pettigrew now in the backfield. He takes the handoff on 3rd down. He's got a first down and then some. Needed 1 and got about 5. Well, there's the new head coach of San Jose State, at least soon to be, Ron Carragher. We're going to hear from him a little bit later on. Quinn Kesnick will talk to him after halftime. He spent the last 6 years at San Diego State, replaced Jim Harbaugh at San Diego State before, or rather San Diego, pardon me, before Harbaugh left USD to go to Stanford. And he won 3 conference titles in his 6 years at San Diego, and now will take over at San Jose State. An end around with speed, Jerron Stokes. Not enough speed to pick up more than a yard. Good job by Doug Parrish staying home.
This Bowling Green offense, their run game, a lot of misdirection. That was something San Jose State was well prepared for. It actually changed the way their defensive ends lined up, put them a little bit more in 2-point stances, let them stand up, see things better coming at them. Wanted to sacrifice a little bit of leverage to see where their play is coming from, where their blockers are coming at them from different angles.
Here comes a blitz on 2nd and 9, and that's batted down at the line. Ricidi got a hand up and knocked it down, so now it's 3rd down and 9 from midfield.
But it's a pretty impressive combination. Travis Johnson at end, and then inside right next to him, Travis Ricidi, number 3. That's a great job just getting his hands up high. Don't see it there. The protection was pretty good for Matt Schultz, but if you can't get to the quarterback, the next best thing is get your hands up and bat that ball down.
There's only 3 defensive tackles in the country that are in the top 50 in sacks. We've got 2 of them in this game. Travis Ricidi for San Jose State and Chris Jones for Bowling Green. 3rd down and 9. Blitz comes again. Schultz lofts one down the sideline, looking for Stokes. And now it'll be 4th down from midfield.
Matt Schills had even matchups across the board. I thought he was going to go to Chris Gallen up top. Here he is, the guy who's been featured all game, runs right by the defensive back. Of course, Schultz chose to throw the ball the other way. Chris Gallen might have had a step there.
Spiraling kick from Schmidtabush, and a fair catch at the 10-yard line by Ronnie Yell. So if nothing else, Bowling Green changes on the Aston Martin. James Bond's car, part of a terrific museum of spy artifacts. And now trying to turn the corner with nowhere to go is Tyler Irvin. Brought down inside the 5. They'll mark him down inside the 3. Charlie Walker and Paul Swan held the edge, a loss of 7. And field position now gets a lot worse for San Jose State.
Tell you what, this front 7 for Bowling Green, really impressive with the ability they're able to push around the San Jose State offensive line. Just look at David Fales. See him perfect on his last 9 passes. I hate when we show that graphic, Bob. Just throw the jinx at him.
Bitter old quarterback.
Yep.
Fails from the end zone. Finds Otten. And he reaches for the 10-yard line and gets back the yardage lost on the last play. It still will be 3rd down and 10 from the 10 as Boo Boo Gates made the tackle for Bowling Green.
Yeah, you know, San Jose State is struggling to run the ball, but that's really not what they're about. They sling it all over. They are predominantly a pass team. They just kind of mix in a run here and there to keep you honest. But if you're going to do that, you can't lose 7 or 8 plays when you try to run the ball. 7 or 8 yards, excuse me.
Spartans are 104th in the country running the ball and 11th throwing the ball. So obviously that's their strength. They'll need it here on 3rd and 10. Here comes the blitz. Fails. Up the seam. Dropped. Chandler Jones had it and couldn't hold on. That looked like a really nice throw from David Fales.
That was a perfectly placed ball. Pretty good defense, too, by Foster. You saw him running step for step with Chandler Jones. They call him Mr. Touchdown, San Jose State does. Here's the end of the play. Ball is perfectly thrown just over the defender.
So now Austin Lopez has to kick it from the end zone. Just gets it away. Wobbly kick to midfield, and it is touched at about the 45-yard line, picked up. And why not? It was already illegally touched, so it cannot be turned over. Ryan Burbring tried to make a play. It'll be Bowling Green ball. And an impressive road win for San Jose State. Back to the offense, Bowling Green. Nice play action fake by Schultz. Up the seam intended for Chris Gallen, but overthrown and incomplete.
I think maybe Chris Gallen, after the last series, said, hey, you better look for me all the time. That one looked like Matt Schultz might have forced that ball a little bit too much into coverage. And Bowling Green with a great opportunity, great field position. Want to make sure they convert something out of this drive. 3 points at the very least.
Counter handoff to Samuel for 5 yards. Creates so much more manageable 3rd down and 5 at the 40 with under 6 minutes to go now in the first half. Are you surprised that the game is as low scoring and maybe as much to Bowling Green style as it has been?
Well, I think this clearly is Bowling Green's advantage here. I think it's a tribute to their defense, the way they've been playing against San Jose State's high-powered offense. And then offensively, they've moved the ball down the field. They've had a couple penalties kind of hurt them. They had to settle for field goals, but they're able to move the ball.
They'll hand it off on 3rd and 5. And now it'll be 4th and 7. Travis Johnson not fooled at all. And now what do? You're in no man's land here, just inside the 45-yard line. You can't try a field goal.
Remember their identity. They're going to try to pin them back. That's what I think they will do. When we talked to Coach Clausen about, he's going to let the clock run down. I mean, this is the type of mindset they have. Early in this game, they're trying to, to help out their offense as much as possible, let their defense try to win this game.
Here comes the punt group. Now you see Dave Clausen upset with Matt Schultz. Is that a situation where he thinks Schultz should have saw something and checked out of the play that he had?
I'm sure they're having a conversation. You don't even know if it's about the third down play either. It could have been a previous play.
Coaches don't forget
No,
what happens
they
earlier
don't.
in the series. That punt didn't work out the way it was intended, as Schmidtbusch backs it up. Well, Reese, you'd think he could hook us up with some samples from our sponsor. I think he'd have the inside word. Down the sideline, in stride, perfect throw to Noel Grigsby from David Fales. And a strike, a quick hitter at that for San Jose State. Has them in business in plus territory. Gain of 37.
Noel Grigsby sets up nicely. Saw him fake the block right there like they're going to throw a bubble screen that slipped right past the defenders. Thing that impressed me too was David Fales threw that ball before he was open. He threw him open right there. Great anticipation from the quarterback.
Fales still trying to get his team set. Play clock down to 7. He might have to spend a timeout. Can they get set before the play clock goes to zeros? Gets the snap off and wants the same hitter down the sideline into traffic. Flag down. Grigsby again the intended receiver. Ryland Ward came over with a big hit on Grigsby, but the flag thrown, it looked like before the hit. This will probably be for pass interference. It is pass interference against Bowling Green.
Yeah, they try to double move on the outside. You see number 23, Noel Grigsby. Little stutter step, goes deep, and I think the pass interference is right there on number 8. Cameron Truss in coverage. A little bit too much hand checking right there. And he had his head. If you find the football and you turn your head around and play the football, you can get away with that sometimes, but he had no idea where that ball was coming from.
Hand off to Eskridge. No gain on first down as we check in with Quinn.
San Jose State punter Harrison Wade has just been loaded into the ambulance here in the right end zone, and they're going to take him to the hospital, to Washington Hospital Center, for what their medical staff told me was chest x-rays.
Punt attempt of the day kind of bounced off the field, and now being taken to the hospital. Second down and 10 for San Jose State. Fails, finds a one-on-one matchup, looks end zone, and it's incomplete, and there's the flag out. Jabari Carr, the intended receiver, and it was Cameron Truss back in coverage again. We'll have to check the penalty. Offensive pass interference. We've lost our referee's microphone, it seems, but that was a push-off called on Jabari Carr.
Here, let's look at Jabari Carr. Just going to run a fade route to the back of the end zone. Cameron Truss, who we just saw before in a similar play. Boy, and I tell you what, right there, a little bit of a push-off towards the end. We're going to catch it every time. It's kind of a learned trait. You try to get, as a veteran receiver, you got to be a little bit more subtle with it so you can get away with it.
Chandler Jones bumped out of bounds. Jude I.J. Barima makes the stop for Bowling Green. Gain of a handful. It's going to be third down and long with 2:51 to go before halftime. So now San Jose State, you'd have to think Danny wants to call a play just to get themselves in field goal range.
Exactly, and if you're a quarterback, you got to be alert of your field position right here. Trying to make sure you get about 10, 15 yards. You don't need the whole 22. Just give your field goal kicker a better chance.
Four-man rush, and Fails, long throw, and that's complete. That'll get them in field goal range. That's exactly what they needed. Chandler Jones gets to the 19-yard line. It's a gain of 16, nowhere near picking up a first down, but it positions Austin Lopez to try and add 3 points.
That's a great throw and catch by San Jose State, and great just kind of game awareness. You know, always talk about quarterbacks being game managers, and I I hate it when people think of that as an insult, because that's what every quarterback should be. Even the best, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, they're exceptional game managers, and that's exactly what David Fales did with that decision, that throw.
So a 36-yard field goal attempt for Lopez. And he's got it. Continues what has been a perfect season. He's now 16 for 16. And we'll step away for 30 seconds. The worst kept secret in the Bay Area is that Brian Lindgren, the offensive coordinator, and Kent Baer, the defensive coordinator, will end up joining him in Boulder. Boo Gates from the 10. Stays on his feet and just gets hit harder at about the 17-yard line. Capital One Bowl Week rolls on tonight. A potentially high-scoring affair. Baylor with the top-ranked offense squaring off with UCLA and their high-flying attack as well in the Bridgepoint Education Holiday Bowl. Capital One Bowl Week tonight at 9:45 on ESPN, also live on Watch ESPN.
That should be a fun game to watch. You got Baylor, Nick Florence at quarterback, an exceptional job filling in for Robert Griffin III. And then Jim Mora Jr., the job he's done at UCLA, getting that program turned around.
We'll go out on a limb and say that won't be 10-6
no.
with a minute and a half to go in the first half of that one.
Now the national championship, on the other hand.
Schultz underneath, plenty of time. Chris Gallen makes the catch. A minute and 23 and all 3 timeouts for Bowling Green. So,
and this will be interesting to watch Bowling Green, how they handle this situation. We talked about them identity-wise being a little bit more of a ball control, field position type team. Let's see how they do in the 2-minute drill.
Schultz does well to escape the rush, sidearms it past Alex Baer, and now it will be 3rd down and a couple. Travis Johnson got some pressure on Matt Schultz.
One advantage they have is a quarterback making his 35th start. Should be comfortable in pretty much any situation. I'm sure he's seen it all throughout his career.
Johnson coming off the edge, and Schultz throws right over his head and hits Alex Baer for a first down. That's a gain of 5, stops the clock, 1:01 to go before halftime, and saves Bowling Green the need to use a timeout.
I think this drive is big for Bowling Green too. We saw they had incredible field position, weren't able to do anything with it, weren't even able to get 3 points. And now with the opportunity to run a 2-minute drill, get a field goal before half, if they go into the locker room with some points, that could be a great momentum kind of shifter for them.
Schultz slides, goes back to his right, and picks up about 6 yards underneath to Jordan Hopgood. Looked like the Supremes over there signaling in the play. Schultz steps up in the pocket, all kinds of time, throws it high, and it's incomplete, intended for Ryan Burbrink. So now it will be 3rd down and 4. Follow Vi. A pretty hard hit on Matt Schultz just as he got rid of the football. And now the Supremes go back to work.
Looks like they're all doing this. You're supposed to mix them up. There you go. Mix them up. So
I don't know where Gladys Knight is. That's the Pips, though. The 3 of them right there. 3rd down and 4. Four-man rush. Schultz down the sideline, a jump ball for Joplin. In and out of his hands and incomplete. Was it me, or did Schultz just throw it right down the chimney, and that's a catch that Joplin has to make?
I'm with you. Sean Joplin running underneath it. Ball was great touch, dropping in perfectly. Play call, they figure they tried a chance man-to-man coverage instead of going for the first down. Say, hey, let's get for the big chunk there. These types of plays you got to make.
Short punt, not returnable, and it will roll dead inside the 25-yard line with 20 seconds to go in the first half. So barring either team using their timeouts, most likely Fales will come out and take a knee, and San Jose State will have a 4-point lead at halftime. Bowling Green will start the 3rd quarter with the football, but Danny, they have not been able to get much going offensively outside of getting inside the red zone down to about the 5-yard line and going backwards once, they haven't really scared the end zone.
No, and I think that's kind of, the Bowling Green has struggled offensively this year. I mean, they've struggled to move the football. I think we're seeing some of that play out here. But I think the interesting thing at halftime, how does San Jose State react after only putting up 10 points? They're used to being a high-scoring team, and they're having a great test right now against this Bowling Green defense.
Well, San Jose State spreads the field, and they'll throw a little wide receiver hitch to Chandler Jones. He breaks a tackle. Almost lost the football. He might have a first down, but if you're San Jose State, put it in the freezer and go in the locker room.
Yes. After seeing that ball come loose, I'm sure that's what their coaching staff is thinking as well.
So San Jose State almost coughs it up. That'll take us to half. And it's Boo Boo Gates back deep to receive the kick, because the announcer cannot say Boo Boo Gates often enough. Down to the 7-yard line. Boo Boo makes a cutback. Good return. Out to about the 38-yard line. We mentioned Quid Kesnick. We'll hear from him in a moment. Bob Wishoes and Danny Cannell with you here at RFK Stadium. A lot of football history, obviously, in this building. The first time these two teams have ever met. Low-scoring game. You'd think that would play into Bowling Green's hands, and yet it's San Jose State on top. Yeah,
I think so. I think the matchup that's going to decide this game is San Jose State's offense versus Bowling Green's defense. That's going to be the key matchup. So far, San Jose they've been stymied by Bowling Green. I mean, we heard Coach Clausen say we've only given up 3 plays, and that's exactly right. They only gave up the touchdown pass and a couple big, wheel routes that he talked about. That, I don't foresee Bowling Green putting up a ton of points. I think if they get 1 touchdown, then they're going to really try to hope that their defense can shut down San Jose State for throughout the second half.
Well, they tried to set up the screen, and it was read by Vi as he jumped in the backfield, so Schultz had to dirt the ball, and it'll be 2nd down and 10. And Danny Cannell, you could see 4-hour on camera, shamelessly hangs up the overcoat. That'll be right back on, by the way, folks. Don't think he's that tough. Schultz going through his progressions, finds the check down. Only a couple of yards, maybe 3. It'll be 3rd down and long as we check in with Quint.
Guys, I spoke to Kent Baer, San Jose State head coach. Just a couple points. Said there's too many lost yardage plays on offense, spending too much time standing around the line of scrimmage before plays. Look for them to pick up the tempo a little. Defensively, he wants to see more press coverage and more bail press coverage, a little more pressure on the perimeter.
Let's see what it looks like, Danny, they're designed to do here on 3rd and 7.
Here he comes. Here's what he's talking about. You see number 8 coming up. Looked like he's going to press. Now he's backing off. Just trying to disguise coverages a little bit more.
4-man rush, and that's well short of the first down. No chance for Chris Gallen to get anywhere near the marker. Jimmy Pruitt makes the stop. As we take a look at our first half stats, brought to you by Stryker, as Bowling Green starts the 3rd quarter with a 3-and-out.
How about that stat right there? -8 rush yards for San Jose State. That's when you hear Kent Baer talk about the struggles offensively. Too many negative plays right there. But they are able to move the ball through the air. I think, they've really got to try to just mix in some run, pick their spots, but let David Fales do the job.
Schmidtbush with an NFL punt. Angles it to the far side corner. And it will be down as it bounces in the wrong direction for Bowling Green outside the 20-yard line at the 22. So it turns into only a 34-yard punt. Bad bounce for Schmidtbush. And San Jose State will start at their own 22-yard line, as David Fales had a solid first half, certainly by his standards. Again, he came into today #1 in America at 72% in terms of completions this year. Has already set a San Jose State record for yards, touchdowns, 2nd team all-WAC at quarterback. Only put 1 touchdown on the board, but that's good enough right now for a 4-point lead.
I think it's key for them not to get frustrated. They're facing a really good defense. Just continue to be patient with the football and make good decisions.
That'll keep your completion percentage high again as he finds Jabari Carr. Out to about the 30-yard line. It's a gain of 7. Gates came up to make the tackle. And how long can you allow those screens and wide receiver hitches if you're Bowling Green before you start to get more aggressive?
Well, even we saw the one big play to Noel Grigsby earlier in the half. That was one of those kind of wheel route looks that they gave up before. They've just got to kind of, that's their key to their game, is not to give up that big play. They have so many weapons to deal with. They've just got to make those open field tackles routinely.
Underneath again, and that's good for a first down. Chandler Jones out to about the 38-yard line. So 2 passes and a fresh set of downs for San Jose State.
You know, I think San Jose State also, you know, we're joking about the weather, how cold it is. You know, it's a conditioned game for a quarterback, for an offense to deal with these. There was some severe wind earlier in the day. It's starting to lighten up. Let's see if maybe that plays into San Jose State's favor a little bit offensively.
The ruling on the field on the previous play is a catch. The previous play is under further review.
So just before the snap, the replay booth buzzes down, and they'll take another look at the Chandler Jones catch.
Here's Chandler Jones, goes down to catch it on the slant. From that angle, looks like he corralled the ball, kept it underneath, kept that hand underneath it to secure the catch. Don't really see anything from that angle.
We've got a Big Ten officiating crew today at the Military Bowl. And let's take another look from our end zone camera and see if this gives us a better indication. Again, it was a ruling of a catch on the field, so it has to be indisputable video evidence to overturn the call on the field. That looks pretty indisputable that he caught it.
Yeah, he's got that ball locked up, in control the whole time, kept his hand underneath it. Solid catch from Chandler Jones.
And there you get a look at Kent Baer as we get the official call.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. It's a catch. First down.
But Kent Baer, the interim head coach now for San Jose State, defensive coordinator. He and Brian Lindgren, the offensive coordinator. It's kind of the worst kept secret, as we talked about in the first half. They'll be joining Mike McIntyre at Colorado. So you've got Ron Carragher, the new head coach, in attendance today, watching his new team play as the outgoing staff is leaving. And Quint Kesnick is going to talk to Coach Carragher coming up shortly. Fails under pressure, hit from the blind side. The ball comes out. It's picked up by Chris Jones. He's at the 10. Inside the 10-yard line down to about the 8. Charlie Walker came with a blindside hit on David Fales. He had no idea he was coming, and the sack becomes a turnover, and it's 1st and goal Falcons.
Boy, the left tackle just whiffed. Watch the left tackle right here. Watch him. He's going. He knows he's in pass protection. Just takes a poor angle. Charlie Walker slips right inside and has a free run at the quarterback. David Fales has no chance, doesn't see him coming, and look who picks it up. The MAC Defensive Player of the Year, Chris Jones. And what a huge play. And this is what Bowling Green, this is their formula, this is their identity. The great defense, exceptional, creating turnovers just like that. Now the question is, can their offense punch one in for them?
Anton Samuel is the I-back. 1st and goal. They'll give it to Samuel. He finds a cutback lane. End zone. Touchdown. And the Falcons have the lead.
Boy, the right guard, watch the seal block right there. And then that opened up just a little lane for Anton Samuel, able to find his way through the crease there.
Now it's Steven Stein on to attempt the point after. Tyler Tate had a terrific first half. Kicked a couple of field goals. Stein adds the point after, and Bowling Green leads by a field. Bowling Green now on top, 13-10. Just about 3 minutes gone by in the second half, and it looked like a designed short kick down to about the 21-yard line. Damon Ogburn runs it back out to the 35. Let's go down to Quint.
We are joined by Ron Carragher, former head coach at University of San Diego, the new coach at San Jose State. Coach, first of all, congratulations. You took the job on December 17th. You had the opportunity to talk to the team. What did you emphasize?
Well, my big thing was telling them they had a very good year, but let's make it a great year. Go out, send the seniors off with a victory, win the bowl game, and solidify a top 25 ranking. Let's carry that momentum into the 2013 season.
The bar has been set pretty high, considering 3 years ago they won 1 game. Now they're fighting for an 11th win. What are your expectations for the program?
Well, I'll tell you, the bar is high, and I love it. We want the team to compete. We want to play at a high level. The program's on the rise. Like we said, the top 25 ranking, moving up into the Mountain West Conference. The expectations are high, and that's how we want it. We want to compete against the best.
What's on your agenda right now?
Well, recruiting's a big part. Hiring a staff is a big part of what I'm doing right now, so we can, as the new year kicks in, get things going forward.
How is this program going to be impacted by the move to the Mountain West?
I'll tell you, it's going to help in a lot of phases. It was huge, that move, recruiting on the forefront. Guys who want to play in that conference and do that. It helps play against competition. It's going to help fill seats in Spartan Stadium. And all in all, it's just a great move for the program.
David Fales, incomplete on second down. As a former quarterback, what is your evaluation of Fales?
I like how he throws the football. He does fit the ball in some tight windows, as we talked about earlier, and he's got some quarterback savviness to him, what you look for in a quarterback. A leader, a guy who doesn't get rattled, and that can lead the team down the field, and I like what I see in David Fales.
Coach, thanks for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Bob.
All right, Quinn, thanks very much. Well, Ron Carricker's new team is 0 for 5.
Yeah, after a quick start moving the ball, they have really struggled the last 3 or 4 series to do anything significant.
Wants to set up the screen on 3rd and 8, and he finds Noel Grigsby well short of the first down. A gain of only about 4. Aaron Foster stayed with Grigsby, and with pretty good field position from their own 35-yard line, San Jose State down by 3 now, going backwards. But Danny, what about this time of the year in college football and the coaching shifting that goes on between the end of the regular season and the bowl season? And now you get teams that have to play their bowl game without their head coach.
I'm not a fan of it personally. I think the NCAA needs to step in and do something about it. I don't think it's fair to the players on the teams that, you know, they can't transfer and go anywhere they like. They have to sit out a year.
The rugby-style kick, that close to being downed inside the 5. And instead, Austin Lopez's kick rolls into the end zone. Vietnam Memorial, and a look at some of the more famous landmarks here in Washington, D.C. as we return to the Military Bowl, presented by Northrop Grumman. John Pettigrew shut down at his own 20-yard line.
Now this will
Vince
be
Pouajour makes the stop.
This will be real interesting to watch Bowling Green offensively. Their coaches were very upfront, said, hey, if we get a lead, we are not afraid to kind of get conservative, to not take any chances, to start working the play clock, utilizing that, and really start taking advantage of that field position ball control. We'll see if they stay true to that. I still think it's early. I think they still need to stay with their normal play calling.
Now they'll keep it on the ground. Pettigrew weaves his way out to about the 26, maybe the 27-yard line. At least 3 yards shy of a first down. It will be 3rd down and 3.
You know, talking to their offensive coordinator for Bowling Green, Warren Ruggiero, I asked him, is it tough, to kind of restrict yourself as a play caller, as an offense? And he said, well, we're winning games, and it has worked for them because their defense is so stellar. We saw the type of game-changing play.
Big play here, though. 3rd down and at least 3.5. Schultz hands it to Pettigrew. He finds a cutback lane. He's got a first down. A gain of 7 for John Pettigrew, who obviously pales in comparison to Anton Samuel in terms of the numbers that he has put up, but they said we wouldn't win 8 games this past season without John Pettigrew.
Boy, nice job of the left tackle blocking down the pulling guard, number 52, Dominic Fluellen. You see him get out in front, get some great push. Pettigrew's able to find that hole for the first down, but a nice job by Bowling Green's offensive line.
To Samuel now. He spins out close to another first down. Sometimes 9.5.
Sometimes too, your offensive line starts to feed off of that philosophy as well. When you're going to start grinding it out, working that play clock, going exclusively to more of a ground game, they start to thrive off of that.
They're not working the play clock too long here. Up tempo and paying the price. Samuel dragged down by David Catalano for a loss of a couple. Now it's 3rd down and about 2.5.
A lot of teams, you'll see them try to do that up-tempo play when they have a short yardage situation. They try to just hustle up and catch a defense off guards. That time obviously didn't work. And now you see Bowling Green offensively taking their time, getting to the line of scrimmage. As Matt Schultz gets the call to his offensive line and wide receivers.
They had to swap tailbacks. Samuel limped off. Pettigrew back on for a big third down play again. Play action this time. A double clutch, and it's incomplete. Schultz thought twice about trying to squeeze one into Chris Gallant. Now it'll be fourth down. And well, they took a couple of minutes off the clock, but they will have to punt it away.
You have to be really careful on those slant routes, those quick slant routes. You're going to see right here Chris Gallant just working that slant. Ball came in late, a little bit low. Batted up in the air. It's a dangerous throw.
Another shanked punt. It'll be great field position again for San Jose State, as Schmidt-Busch State usually plays in.
And they need something to spark their offense. Somebody needs to step up and make a big play.
They're going to try a reverse here and a fumble. It's on the ground. Chandler Jones couldn't hold on. Back at the 30-yard line. Who recovered? San Jose State will have it, but they'll lose 12 yards on the play.
And that's an offensive coordinator, a play caller, and Brian Lindgren trying to spark his offense by using some trickeration, trying to end around the reverse. Just a poor exchange there by the running back and the wide receiver. And now, once again, we've seen this a couple times. San Jose State, they get them set themselves in a hole early, and they're faced with a second down and forever.
How lucky was Chandler Jones to find that football and recover it himself?
I don't know how he got that thing.
Just rolled back into his arms. Pump fake and a screen set up to Eskridge. Tripped up.
And this San Jose State offense is not used to this. I mean, they have got to be getting frustrated. They've had 9 drives, 9 series. They've had the ball, and the most plays they've had in any one is 5 plays. I mean, that's unbelievable. It's really a tribute to Bowling Green, the job they're doing shutting them down. But sooner or later, somebody for San Jose State, if they want to get in this game, somebody has to step up and make a play.
San Jose State now has negative 26 yards rushing.
Ryan Otten's been quiet, the tight end. He's been Fail's kind of go-to guy, him or Grigsby.
Falcons show blitz on 3rd and 13. Here they come. Now they back out. Fails. High throw up the seam, intended for Otten, and it's incomplete. Again, 3 downs and out. Helped out by the fumbled reverse on first down that just put the Spartans way too far behind the chains.
Yeah, I mean, the keys to the game, we talked about them earlier, for Bowling Green was the one-on-one matchups in the secondary. They knew they'd get pressure, but in talking to Mike Elko, their defensive coordinator, he said, my biggest concern is the secondary matching up with all those weapons. They've done a great job so far in this game.
That is not the most artistic punt we've seen all season. Burbrink at the 22-yard line. Goes down. 41-yard punt, 3-yard return, and the Discover Orange Bowl is on ESPN New Year's night. Jordan Lynch and the MAC champion Northern Illinois group will have Danny Cannell sweating as the ACC champions. Florida State, one of the top-rated and stingiest defenses in the nation, will try and shut down Lynch. The Discover Orange Bowl, New Year's Day at 8:30 on ESPN, also live on the Watch ESPN app and ESPN Radio. Just closing my eyes now and imagining what the set looks like on Unite.
That's
the
right.
night after the Orange Bowl, if Northern Illinois pulls off the upset.
Don't say that. Come on, that's blasphemy. That'll be a fun game, though.
Anton Samuel, slow developing play, and he does well to pick up 2 yards. Come on, there's some pressure on you that night.
Oh, there will be. If Florida State does not win, I will take some heat. And I'll tell you what, Northern Illinois, I know they've been getting bashed a lot for getting selected to go to the Orange Bowl, but Jordan Lynch, he's a one-man wrecking crew. He can make some plays.
So Danny
They're going to be fired up, too. They got a lot of motivation going in that game. Florida State doesn't have much to play for.
The FSU alum already tempering expectations.
I learned that from Coach Dowd. Pump up the opponent.
Samuel again. You can hear the pads pop as as he works hard for a 1-yard gain.
And
it will be 3rd down and 7, 5 minutes to go in the 3rd. And at some point, does Bowling Green have to take some chances offensively? Can they play this way and expect to win?
From what their coaches told us and the way their defense is shutting down San Jose State, I don't think they do. They cannot risk a turnover, and that's all they're asking from their quarterback, Matt Schiltz. Just, hey, do not make that critical mistake. If it's there, take it. If not, eat the ball, use the clock. Just don't hurt us.
Intended for Gallen. That's another 3 and out.
I think it's one of the hardest places to play from in an offense like that as a quarterback, because you really have your hands tied behind your back, and when you start playing safe, that's just not, it's not something I ever like doing as a player. You've got to kind of have that mentality of staying aggressive, but it's worked for them all year.
Bush has the punt blocked. It's in the end zone, and it'll roll through the back of the end zone, I think. Is it recovered for a touchdown or a safety? It's a safety. Ben Wickery blocked the punt, and it just barely rolled out of bounds in the back of the end zone for a safety. It's actually a bad break for San Jose State. If that ball just in any way stays inside the back end zone chalk, they've got a touchdown.
Watch number 21 come right up the middle. Ben Wickery makes the block. We've been saying it all game long. Somebody for San Jose State has to step up and make a play. They weren't doing it offensively, so why not the special teams come up with a huge momentum swing? I mean, San Jose State, watching their sideline, they've been a little flat the second half, been waiting for something big to happen. Finally, somebody steps up big and makes a nice play.
Special teams has been largely a disaster in this game for both teams. We have had under 20-yard punts twice by Schmidbush. Now we get a blocked punt for a safety.
And
Bowling Green obviously had a blocked punt as well that gave them great field position and a score in the first half. We've had a punter that was injured and taken to the hospital. 4:18 to go in the 3rd quarter, and now San Jose State's going to get the football back. You'd think they would have great field position again, as Ben Wickery blocks the punt for a safety.
This guy's 3rd in the FBS in interceptions.
Anthony Farinella is going to put it on the tee, and the free kick is going to be more of a conventional kickoff.
Well, they've been pooch kicking these kickoffs. Really concerned about the returners.
Can you pooch it from your own 20-yard line?
That's why I bring it up. I don't think they can. So it's a great opportunity for San Jose State to get a solid return and, like you mentioned, get great field position.
He tried to hit that one as hard as he could. It's going to come down to Tyler Irvin, who muffs it at the 18-yard line. And then Irvin is able to only reach the 32. The adventures continue on special teams, and Capital One Bowl is on tonight with a potentially high-scoring affair. The Bridgepoint Education Holiday Bowl features 2 top offenses. Baylor takes on number 17 UCLA. Capital One Bowl Week tonight at 9:45 on ESPN, also live on Watch ESPN. So the momentum now shifts back to the Spartans in spite of the fact that they're still down by a point. Starting at their own 32. Fails. Long throw to the sideline on time. Chandler Jones stays in bounds. He gets close to midfield before he's brought down. 17 yards and a first down.
You know, it's funny watching this game. San Jose State only has 10 points offensively. Of course, they had the safety to add to that. And it's not like they had the one bad play where they gave up the sack and the fumble. It's just they haven't been able to sustain drives.
Fails underneath. Grigsby makes the catch. Good open field tackle after a gain of about 6. Darrell Hunter makes the stop for Bowling Green, but now fails. 21 of 26 for the nation's leader in completion percentage. Second down and 3. Back shoulder throw up the sideline. Good for a first down. Noel Grigsby career leader in receptions and yards in San Jose State history.
You
Comes
see this?
back to make a catch for 19 more.
Saw this all year long with David Fales and his wide receivers. They look covered, defenders are running with him step for step, and he trusts them and gives them an opportunity to make plays, and they do.
Fales, well protected, looks end zone into traffic. It's tipped and almost intercepted. He tried to squeeze one in to Ryan Otten, and Paul Swan underneath, trying to run deep with the tight ends. Knocked it up in the air.
Well, I talked about him having confidence in his receivers, putting that ball in tight windows. That's double coverage right there. Almost a disastrous outcome. Trying to go to his big tight end, Ryan Otten, down the middle of the field. But you got to be careful with that football. That's what I talk about, staying patient. Don't force things.
Eskridge up the middle. He's down to about the 17-yard line. Brian Thomas brought him down. So now a big play. 3rd down and 3 in the red zone in a 1-point game. This is the 6th play of the drive, which doesn't sound like much, but it's the first possession of the game for San Jose State that has lasted more than 5 plays.
It's the tight end. That's been his favorite target, these types of situations, but he's signaling out to the left here.
Bales on 3rd down. Nice route run by Chandler Jones. He's got a first down inside the 5. Dives. Pylon. He's in. What a play by Chandler Jones for the go-ahead touchdown. How did he stay in bounds? The 11th touchdown of the season for Chandler Jones. The safety and then the score on the next drive for San Jose State puts them on top by 6.
God, what a nice job by Chandler Jones. Lined up in the slot. Watch how he kind of lulls the defender's sleep, then breaks outside. Just a little hesitation at the beginning of his route. Right there, lets the pick kind of clear. Just that enough of a pick job by the outside receiver. And then working the sideline to perfection right there. Really elusive in a tight space. Really impressive athleticism right at the end of this play. Right here, everybody thinks maybe he's going out of bounds. Slips right by everybody. I mean, that is a phone booth right there. Finds the end zone. And for a San Jose State offense, which, you know, we talked about them, their lack of success early in this game, that's a great response, feeding off the special teams play. Able to come back and find that end zone.
Well, we talked about Bowling Green's style as well earlier, that you said, talking to the coaches, just get up a field goal. Just have a lead, and we can kind of put the ball in the freezer and work on the clock. Well, a couple of 3 and outs, and all of a sudden a special teams mistake, and you find yourself down.
Yep. I mean, they have gotten very conservative offensively. Almost exclusive on the run game unless it's 3rd down. We'll see what they do on this drive.
Boo Boo Gates from the 4. Gets loose. Check that. It's Pettigrew. And Pettigrew's in plus territory all the way down to the 45-yard line. Terrific return to the 44 of San Jose State. That's a huge momentum change for John Pettigrew. 52-yard return.
These special teams coaches have to be pulling their hair out right now, watching what's going on. Here's the kicker. Let's watch Austin Lopez. He's the safety valve. He's got to make a play. There you go. Hangs on. That's all his job is to do, is to prevent that touchdown. He's the last line of defense. May not have been the prettiest, but was effective enough.
Well, they can't afford to lose him. He's doing everything now as the kicker for the Spartans, as the punter, Harrison Wade, was injured in the first half. Bowling Green now starts a drive inside San Jose State territory. Schiltz to the sideline, intercepted. Jimmy Pruitt jumps in front, picks it off, stays in bounds, and the takeaway for the Spartans on defense.
Wow, what a play by the true freshman, Jimmy Pruitt. Matt Schultz was holding on to that ball a long time, really staring over at that side of the field. He's had a lot of success working to Chris Gallen. You see Pruitt keeping his eyes at the quarterback, watching the quarterback, sees the ball coming, and then the exceptional break right in front of it. And it looks from here, did he have possession and stay in bounds?
Knee down in bounds.
Did he have possession of the ball? That ball might have been bobbling, but
they'll take another look.
Yeah, it looks like he had it from every angle. Was it bobbling at all, the ball? There, it's between his legs.
The previous play is under further review.
Corralled that football using every body part imaginable.
Second interception on the season for the true freshman Jimmy Pruitt, if it stands. And it certainly looks as if it will. The ruling on the field was an interception. The knee came down clearly inbounds while the ball was between his legs, and as he rolled out of bounds, he controlled the ball. We've got Bill Algie, our Big Ten observer of officials, up here in the booth with us. Now, Bill, what is the replay booth looking at to determine whether or not they'll stay with the interception there? Go ahead, Bill.
They're taking a look at whether or not the ball is moving and whether he maintained possession as part of the process of that interception.
From the angles that you've seen, is there that evidence, that video evidence, enough to overturn the call?
Well, there has to be indisputable video evidence to change the call on the field, or it'll stand. It's kind of hard to tell from the view that I have. Well, there's a player in the way there. I can't tell you.
Yeah.
And because the precedent on the field was set, here maybe is a better look. It's between his legs. He doesn't have it with his hands, but he certainly had it with his thighs.
Right? I'm of the mind it was an incredible play. You give him the benefit of the doubt. What do you say, Shu?
Odd coming from you that the quarterback would want the interception to stand.
I'm all in favor of plays like that. That was a pretty athletic play.
Here's the decision.
After review, the defender did not complete the process of the catch. Therefore, it's an incomplete pass. It will be 2nd and 10 at the 44-yard line.
So they say indisputable evidence that he did not have full possession as he landed out of bounds. So obviously the ball being between his legs and not firmly in the grasp of his hands turns into a wave off of the interception.
Wow.
And what a huge break that is for Bowling Green.
Huge break for Bowling Green. This is a team that cannot afford to spot San Jose State any more advantages. I think Matt Schultz just needs to be careful with that football. He cannot get lazy with it, cannot be late on his throws. Because as good as Bowling Green's defense is, San Jose State's got some defensive playmakers as well.
Well, Matt Schultz has to have amnesia now and shake off what could have easily been an interception. And they'll try it on the ground on 2nd down. And the line of scrimmage changed by that defensive front for San Jose State. Vince Boisjeur came through and made the stop, but on the inside, Catalano, Rosidi shoved that front in the wrong direction.
Look at the middle line. Boisjeur right there, just fighting his way through the line of scrimmage. Pretty good penetration by his defensive line up front. Travis Rosidi right there. Travis Johnson, number 43, right next to him. That's a pretty formidable duo right there for Bowling Green to have to block on the right side of that offensive line.
Now it's 3rd down and long. Schultz down the sideline. It looks to be short of the 1st down to Chris Gallen. The officials will confer, and it looks like they'll give him the catch. Well, now what do you do if you're Bowling Green? You're down by 6, and now they'll wave it off. Well, I'll make the decision a lot easier, as they'll say this was an incomplete pass.
Yeah, here's a great look at Chris Gallen trying to toe tap on the sidelines. And you see there, his foot clearly out of bounds. So a good job of communication by the officials on the field, getting together and making the correct call.
Dave Clausen doesn't agree. Maybe he wants replay to take a look, but what we just saw, there's no question the right call was made. And that makes the punt an easy decision for Bowling Green. Mitterbush has had a rough second half particularly, and this time a knuckleball will get down to about the 15-yard line. 31-yard punt, but it does get inside the 20. 55 seconds to go now in the third quarter, and San Jose State has completely taken back control of the momentum of this game.
Yeah, and they've got an opportunity here, even with a lot of time in this game, if they can go down and score on this drive, and the way Bowling Green has struggled offensively, that they could really knock them out of this game. And Bowling Green defensively, this is where they've got to step up and come up with a big stop. And even better yet, we've seen the struggle. We talked a lot about the struggles for them offensively. If they can create a turnover like they did earlier in this game.
Selling out to stop the run, the Falcons. Zach Colvin helped out by Dwayne Woods on the tackle. A loss of a couple for Eskridge. It'll be second down and long. And the run numbers for San Jose State continue to go in the wrong direction. They are now minus 23 yards rushing for the game. But they keep on bailing themselves out with the pass. Noel Grigsby has a first down.
Well, what a nice firm throw from David Fales to Grigsby, who just ran a little corner route on the outside. And David Fales with that pinpoint accuracy we've talked a lot about.
We've got an injury timeout as Ryland Ward might be cramping up. It looks like he was trying to stretch out that left thigh. And he'll have to limp off the field. And that last play will most likely take us to the end of the third quarter. See if San Jose State tries to run another play before the end of the quarter. But the Spartans responding, again, without their head coach, Mike McIntyre taking the job at Colorado in early December. A week later, it was announced that Ron Carragher would be the new head coach. And they will try and run another play before the end of the quarter. Little throwback screen to Jabari Carr. And he picks up 9. And that will take us to the end of the third. What a third quarter it was for San Jose State, trailing in halftime. Now, as we start the fourth, and this is a team that has had to bind together in the absence of their coach, Mike McIntyre, as we said. He's the new head coach at Colorado, not coaching the bowl game. Eskridge shut down on second and short. It'll be third down and 2. Your impressions for where this game sits right now, the momentum that the Spartans took back in the third quarter, and can Bowling Green come back in the fourth?
I think it's going to be a huge test for Bowling Green offensively to be able to put some points on the board and match the San Jose State team. San Jose State offensively, too, really looks like they found a little bit of a rhythm. And if they can put points here, if they can score a touchdown, even a field goal, it really, I think, is going to put too much pressure on Bowling Green. This is really a chance for a knockout blow for San Jose State.
Third down and 2, though. Design rollout for Fales to the sideline, and it's yard free. That'll be incomplete. Nice job by I.J. Barima to come over and knock it out of the hands of Chandler Jones. So Bowling Green gets the 3 and out defensively to start the fourth quarter.
David Fales rolled out to pass. Tried to find Chandler Jones, but a pretty nice tackle there by Bowling Green. They were all over it. Great route recognition. That's something this Bowling Green defense does so well.
And the two teams come to their respective sidelines as Chandler Jones is still down. So we have an injury timeout.
Let's not forget, too, I mean, the punting game woes for both teams. I mean, no punt in this game is a gimme. It's an adventure. I mean, here, if you're Austin Lopez and you're his special teams coach, you're saying, hey, just get this ball off.
Both punters have had a kick blocked in the game. And again, Austin Lopez, not even the normal punter. And that one might have been deflected. A fair catch called for at the 33-yard line by Burbrink. It is a success in this game. Bowling Green down by a touchdown. after they start off the fourth quarter with a defensive stop. Schills shoots one right over the middle. Ryan Burbrink makes the catch. He's got 11 yards and a first down, and this is a homecoming for Ryan Burbrink. He went to DeMatha, grew up in Shadyside, Maryland. He was not highly recruited. He actually went to Bowling Green as a preferred walk-on, but he's a redshirt freshman that's already been put on scholarship, and he certainly has a lot of friends and family that have come to watch him today. Flags down, and this play will be blown dead. It'll be a false start.
False start. Offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Let's take a look at our statistics to this point. The rushing yards not there for San Jose State, but they've got 303 passing yards from David Fales.
Yeah, he's been impressive, so efficient as he's done all year. And then Bowling Green, you look at total yards, only 179. They've struggled to move the ball. If they do, their best chance of success is a quick passing game.
Delayed handoff to Jordan Hopgood. Holding on for dear life on the back of his jersey is Keith Smith. It's a gain of 7. It'll be 2nd down and 8. And again, there is the future head coach of San Jose State, Ron Carragher, as he was named the replacement for Mike McIntyre. And how about the response today, Danny, for San Jose State, playing without their head coach? Their incoming head coach has yet to put his fingerprints on this team, and here they are coming from behind to lead the bowl game.
I think it's a tribute to the senior leadership. 16 seniors on this San Jose State team, sticking together, saying, hey, we want to do something special, get that first win, that first 11-win season ever for San Jose State.
2nd down and 8. Blitz coming over the middle. That should be good for a first down to Alex Baer. Brought down right at the first down marker. Boy, he might be a half-yard shy. It'll be 3rd down and a foot. But you know what, it does bring to mind, again, the tough time of year for college football when coaches leave and they're somewhat interchangeable. We even had this situation when we did the Cincinnati-UConn game, last game of the regular season, and everything swirling around Butch Jones in terms of those rumors. And when you're a Cincinnati, a San Jose State, that type of a program, and you know that success for your program is if your coach leaves, because it means that someone else wanted him. 3rd down and a half-yard. Weaving his way for a first down, and more is John Pettigrew. Strong run.
That was a big run for Pettigrew, too, because they did not want to have to think about going for it on 4th down and a real short there. That was big to get that kind of relief off the coach's shoulders. But you talked about all the interim coaches. To me, it seems like it's almost reached an epidemic. I mean, there have been so many coaches that have bolted for better jobs, and you can't blame them because, you know, it's their livelihood. They're looking for stability and financial stability and opportunity. But for me, I would like to see the NCAA step in and prevent them from doing that. Make them wait and carry their team through the bowl season.
Jordan Hopgood for about 6 more. It'll be 2nd down and 4. Well, speaking of bowl season, Capital One Bowl Week continues tomorrow with 3 more games at 2 Eastern. Ohio takes on Louisiana Monroe in the Advocare V100 Independence Bowl. Then at 5:30, Rutgers and Virginia Tech in the Russell Athletic Bowl. And at 9, Minnesota Texas Tech in the Meineke Car Care Bowl of Texas. Incompletion on 2nd down and 4. Sets up 3rd down and 4. And I agree with you. I think the NCAA could step in.
They've got to adjust a lot of things, the recruiting.
That's the problem. I mean, the way that the current recruiting calendar is set up in college football, you have to jump to that new job, or else you lose an entire year when you make a coaching change in terms of getting players for your program.
I just think it's unfair to the players. You know, they're not allowed to shop around and be free agents.
Absolutely, but there has to be a moratorium on all recruiting for all of the teams that have their coaches in place too. 3rd down and 4. Draw play. Pettigrew breaks free. Pettigrew to the 20. Inside the 10. End zone. Touchdown, Bowling Green.
Boy, John Pettigrew Watch his tackle over here, come over here, pull aside, and Pettigrew just finds a hole. Watch him bounce around. You see his tackle in front of him, bounces off a couple guys, and then the speed just outruns San Jose State's defense, finds his way to the end zone, and that is a huge,
further review.
if it stands, a huge touchdown for Bowling Green, because you've got to question their ability to finish off a drive, and for him to do it all by himself.
Well, it's a big play, obviously. It's a scoring play that gives Bowling Green the lead, but to me, this is overuse of replay. As we take another look, as he is down at about the 1 yard line.
Right there is his knee, clearly.
So it'll be 1st and goal from about the 1 for Pettigrew.
About the 1.5.
Maybe the 1. Now it'll probably be about the 1 yard line.
And now, the reason I said that was such a critical touchdown, which is probably going to get called back, Bowling Green, they need the touchdown. They in their offense, it struggles a little bit. I mean, they're not comfortable, you know, going out there and executing plays.
Review, the runner was down at the 1 yard line before getting into the end zone. It'll be 1st and goal at the 1.
Well, that would have been a touchdown run and a season-long run for John Pettigrew. It still is, as his previous run, longest of the season, was 29 yards. Before that, 34-yarder. Sets up 1st and goal at the 1.
Now the big, you know, see how they have these 3 chances. Can they punch it in? And can San Jose State, can they bow up on the defense? If I'm San Jose State, I'm selling out for the run, forcing them to beat you with a play action pass, maybe take a little bit more risk than usual. First, you got this big receiver outside. I don't think they'll take that chance, but he's 6'4", 220 on the outside. I think they'll stick it on the ground, though.
Bowling Green will leave Pettigrew in as the tailback. They'll try again. Dives at the goal line. He's in again. Touchdown, Bowling Green. And that, at least for the moment, will tie the game at 19. The way that special teams has been for both of these teams today, we don't take the extra point for granted.
That's an adventure, and they come with a different kicker for extra points, too.
Steven Stein out of the hold of Bart Tamsky. And Bowling Green has the lead back with 10.5 minutes to go.
And John Pettigrew, who led them all the way down the field. I love it when coaches let the guy who got it down there, let him finish it off. Got a couple nice blocks, finds his way in the end zone. Bowling Green on
point as John Pettigrew got it down to the 1 yard line and punched it in. 10.5 minutes to go. And now the pressure back on San Jose State. Irvin from the 2. Brought down at the 22. Capital One Bowl Week is available live anytime, anywhere on your computer, tablet, or smartphone at watchespn.com and with the Watch ESPN app. Working some college basketball with Dan Dockich. He had a good line. The Watch ESPN app,
Yep.
in his opinion, the greatest invention since the fork. And you know what? When you got college basketball and all the bowl games
gotta catch them all at
overlapping,
once, yeah.
Sure, Christmas Day, quintuple header of
Yeah, you can watch 4 games
NBA,
at once on that
absolutely.
Watch ESPN app.
Just keep buying tablets. You can watch as many as you want. Noel Grigsby. A gain of 8, close to 9 yards on 1st down. The Military Bowl presented by Northrop Grumman. The player of the game trophy on the right, and the winner of the game takes the big hardware back to their trophy case on the left. And if you're watching on ESPN, head over to ESPN3 if you want to see the presentation of the trophy to the winner after the game's over. One-handed catch made by DeLeon Eskridge, and that's good for a 1st down.
Boy, it helps to have receivers like that. Running backs who can catch coming out of the backfield. Here's Eskridge. He's pretty well covered. Just sticks that paw out there, brings it in. Such an advantage as quarterback to have an outlet like that as your last option and get you those positive yards.
Pump fake. Fails. Wants the big play down the sideline. Laying out. And unable to come up with it was Jabari Carr.
Boy, they try to double move on the outside. Jabari Carr with just a little stutter step, and David Fales gave a huge shoulder fake. Bowling Green, a nice job of staying at home, not falling for that play, the pump fake.
It will be 2nd down and 10, 9.5 minutes to go. San Jose State has done a good job of keeping Chris Jones off of David Fales. That time they throw the screen behind the rush, and Tyler Irvin gets loose. He's got a 1st down and more. They said they wanted to come up with inventive ways to get Tyler Irvin the ball. He missed the last 4 games of the regular season with a shoulder injury, but he has that special big play ability, according to Brian Lindgren, their offensive coordinator.
Gets a couple offensive linemen out in front of him on a little slip screen and then finds his way in the open field. He's very elusive. Tyler Irvin is about 5'10", 175, but he's got some jukes on him.
He came down on that shoulder and came out of the game, replaced by Eskridge. 1st down carry for a ½ yard. Charlie Walker made the tackle.
I'm wondering why San Jose State, I know they want to kind of mix it in, the run a little bit, but at some point, go with what's working. They've been throwing the ball so well with, so much effectiveness. Just keep throwing the rock.
That's the All-American Chris Jones over on the sideline getting a breather for Bowling Green. 2nd and 10. Fails out of a well-formed pocket, finds Jabari Carr. He's got a 4-yard gain. So a big 3rd down here for San Jose State. Coming up on 8 minutes to go. Again, they're in that gray area inside the 45-yard line. You wonder if this is 4-down territory if they don't pick it up.
I think it might be for San Jose State because of the weapons they have, because of the success they have throwing the football. They have a lot of options available to them if they come to a 4th down situation.
Chris Jones back in at right defensive end out of this 3-down look for Bowling Green. Oh, they don't have to worry about it. Grigsby's got a 1st down and more. 3rd down conversion for the Spartans. 16-yard gain, Noel Grigsby.
Boy, this San Jose State offense, they're fun to watch. You can tell they're well coached. They've got great schemes. See the outside receiver just running a hitch route, but then immediately knows he's got to get upfield, makes one tackler miss, and gets those yards after the catch. The quarterbacks love to watch.
9 catches, 134 yards for Grigsby as he continues to add to his school records. Fails, flushed out of the pocket, and will throw it away. Brian Baird had him pushed up against the sideline.
Now it comes crunch time too for both these teams. Bowling Green trying to do their best to make the, to force San Jose State to a field goal, and a long one at that. If they can shut them down, San Jose State, meantime, trying to put some points on the board.
9th play of the drive. By far their longest drive in terms of most plays run. 5-man rush. Fails over the middle. Wide open, he's got Ryan Otten. Down to the 10-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal.
And Ryan Otten right here at tight end just comes over the middle of the field, gonna run a little crossing route. Over the middle, see him stem up the field, works vertical. Safety a little bit late coming on him, but was worried about some depth behind him. But Ryan Otten, who's been kind of quiet, except for the 1st quarter, finally steps up and make a big play. He's been that sort of playmaker for them, and now they've got their big feature quarterback who mostly runs the football.
Blake Jurich, an end-around handoff, and instead it's a fumble. And who got it? San Jose State may have recovered. They tried an end-around flip, and that's the 2nd time in the game that has not worked for San Jose State.
Yeah, I think San Jose State, they might be getting a little bit cute. It's bowl season. Coaches have a lot of time to draw some plays up. That time they try the end around. You're going to see Jurich flip it, which I like. Kyle Nunn, though, struggles getting the ball, and then that ball is up for grabs. But a nice job by Blake Jurich, the quarterback, to recover that ball. what could have been a disaster for San Jose State.
They bring Jurich in at times in short yardage, the same way that Oklahoma does with the Belldozer. And now fails to take a shot at the end zone. Knocked away. Terrific play by Aaron Foster to knock it away from Ryan Otten.
Boy, Aaron Foster, you don't see a defensive player make plays on the ball like that. That was exceptional. Timed it perfectly, jumped up. I mean, Ryan Otten is 6'6", 245. You see it almost perfectly. Perfectly played, timed his jump. That is an outstanding pass defense right there.
A field goal would give San Jose State the lead. 3rd and goal. From all the way back out at the 22-yard line. Hard to imagine they're going to throw one in the end zone here, and they will not. A wide receiver screen to Jabari Carr. He breaks a tackle, stays on his feet down the sideline. All the way down to about the 10-yard line before Bowling Green finally gets him on the ground.
How on earth did Jabari Carr find anywhere to run there? I mean, it looked like he was bottled up for possibly what would have been a loss. What an incredible individual effort by Jabari Carr.
Couldn't get away from Chris Jones, though. Finally, Jones all the way downfield brought him down.
The nose tackle.
But that will make it a much easier and shorter field goal attempt for Austin Lopez. Again, Lopez is perfect on the season. What's amazing for San Jose State as well is they have nothing but first-year players in their battery here. The snapper, the holder, and the kicker are all freshmen, and they haven't missed all year. And that one looks like it sneaks inside the left upright as Lopez gives San Jose State the lead again. And we'll step aside. Ball back, trailing by 2. They've got John Pettigrew back deep to receive the kick. Returnable from just inside the 5. Brought down at the 24. Let's take a look at today's Reese's Perfect Play, brought to you by Reese's.
Earlier in the game, we saw David Fales find Chandler Jones just on a little quick-hitting flat route, but Chandler Jones makes the play perfect by missing one defender and then doing his best to find the end zone. A big touchdown for San Jose State early. You know why it's perfect? Because he made the quarterback look good. That's why. And David Fales has several guys on the outside who make him look good.
Bowling Green is pretty deliberate offensively. They have all of their timeouts, so they might be able to create another possession if this one doesn't move them down the field. But Schultz will take a shot looking for Gallen and overthrows everyone. Jimmy Pruitt perfectly positioned in coverage on Chris Gallen. It'll be 2nd down and 10. And Danny, this is not really the Falcons' comfort zone. Time and score working against them.
No, and you can see the difference in offenses and quarterbacks. You know, we talked about Fales being very decisive with the football, and then you watch Matt Schultz in this offense. He's back there, you know, he kind of waits there. If he gets off his first receiver, kind of there's uncertainty, and it's just not as well executed.
Under pressure, losing the football is Schultz. It's on the ground, and it looks like San Jose State has the recovery. Keith Smith comes up with the loose ball.
Travis Johnson, number 43, coming off the edge. This is the WAC Defensive Player of the Year. What a great sack and turnover, forced turnover when they needed it most. Comes up big, and San Jose State is pumped up.
Anton Samuel was hurt on the play as well. So while San Jose State was celebrating the takeaway, and a lot of smiles from Kent Baer, the interim head coach, who's coaching his last game with the Spartans. Samuel taken off the field on the far side. Schultz coughs it up. And now Bowling Green, to have any chance, has to hold San Jose State to a field goal and manage the clock as well. Eskridge gets to the edge. Out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. A couple of yards shy of a first down.
But who else would you expect to make a big play for San Jose State than Travis Johnson? He's a leader of this team, a senior, going to have a chance to play at the next level. They're not sure whether he'll be a down defensive end or possibly a linebacker. But we got to talk to him yesterday, an excellent student. Just a great individual and a great football player.
Now the junior quarterback, David Fales, no rush here. Snaps the ball with 5 on the play clock. Short of the first down is Eskridge.
A little unusual.
3:41 to go.
Him playing under center, too. They're pretty much exclusively from the shotgun there. Trying to boost their run game a little bit. Now bringing in some more big bodies. Working that clock, using as much as they can. Featuring the run game as well.
Well, running the football is not their strength,
No.
as you can see.
That's why they're bringing more offensive linemen. They figure maybe strength in numbers.
It's a huge play, 3rd down and 1, as Bowling Green needs to get a stop. Play action. Fails, flips it to Liaina at the 5, and he's inside the 5-yard line. Lost the ball. Is that a fumble? Through the side of the end zone. What will the officials rule? Down by contact or a touchback? And it looks as if they will say down by contact.
The ruling on the field is that the runner was down inbounds, 1st down.
Wow. That ball coughed up late by Liaina, and it rolled out of the side of the end zone.
Boy, what a great play call from Brian Lindgren. Everybody in the stadium thought they were going to run the football. Here's a look at Liaina at the end of that play.
I don't know.
Ooh, that ball looks
don't know.
like it is out of there before he was down.
It's certainly going to be reviewed. This might be going back to Bowling Green.
The ruling on the field is that the runner was down with possession of the ball. The previous play is under further review.
Boy, and talk about a pivotal call for, it's got huge implications in this game.
Again, the ruling on the field, down by contact, only to be overturned by indisputable video evidence. Now, the first look that we saw seemed like the ball popped out before his knee was down. And this might be the best look that we have. Certainly the replay booth is going to see the best looks, and the video evidence that we have to show you at home is his knee down when the ball comes out. That is really close.
That is as close as you will see.
And it's actually difficult to see his knees.
Right.
His knees are shielded by a couple of Bowling Green tacklers. It looks to me like a fumble. I'm not sure, Danny Cannell, what you think,
no, I'm with
is
you.
it indisputable?
I'm with you. I think it probably was a fumble, but I don't know if there's indisputable evidence. I think this call is probably going to work in San Jose State's favor.
What a turnaround. Either Bowling Green gets the football or it's 1st and goal with under 3 minutes to go.
And, to remember, too, the officials only have the same views that we have, so that's the best angle we have, so it's going to be tough for them to make the clear-cut call on that, too.
Well, the decision's not immediate.
Yeah. Which most times means they're looking at spots and where to, possibly put the ball, but it was out of the back of the end zone. It's just a lot of indecision right here. But a crucial call for either team.
This is a long conversation with the replay booth. And obviously it is a decision that could determine the outcome of the game. If you're Bowling Green and you end up with the football, it's going to come all the way back out to the 20-yard line, and you're only going to be down by 2. You've got all the time in the world with 2:56 on the clock and all of your timeouts. Or it's 1st and goal, and you're going to be in a situation where you have to force a field goal and probably spend your timeouts to preserve time, and then need a touchdown if the field goal's good because you'd be down by 5.
Yeah.
The initial indication we're getting is that the play might have to stand.
After review, the ruling on the field stands as called. 1st down at the 3-yard line.
That's a tough break for Bowling Green because it looked as if it might have been a fumble, but we just did not have any other angles that gave the officials a clear look at what happened. So that's the perfect example of the call on the field and the precedent being set being very, very important. If they had ruled that a fumble, I don't think they would have been able to overturn it the other way.
Right. I agree.
Well, now you have to bow up if you're Bowling Green and get a stop. Eskridge. Very close to the goal line, and it looks like he will be down at the half-yard line. Dwayne Woods made the tackle, and now the Falcons will spend a timeout. 2:34 to go.
Dave Clawson's about halfway on the field there, trying to get that, realizing every second so crucial at this point of the game. But I agree, Bowling Green has got to bow up, somehow find a way to force.
The Falcons trying to stay in the game. 2nd down and goal for the Spartans at the 1-yard line. Eskridge follows his blockers into the end zone for what should be a game-icing touchdown. A very important point after for Austin Lopez. And now it's a 2-possession game with 2:34 to go.
Eskridge, number 2, gets a couple nice blocks, gets a big guard out in front of him. That's Ryan Jones, number 74. Walks in. Pretty nice hole by that San Jose State offensive line.
For a team that's now minus 23 in rushing yards in the game, they made that look pretty easy.
Yes, they did.
Well, the new head coach watching the outgoing staff possibly engineer a bowl win, as Ron Carragher spent the last 6 years as the head coach at San Diego. He replaced Jim Harbaugh when Harbaugh went to Stanford 6 years ago, won 3 conference titles and was 44-22 at USD, and now he'll become the new head coach at San Jose State after this season officially ends, and it may end with a bowl win for a San Jose State team that's ranked in the BCS for the first time ever. And now they've got a 9-point lead with 2:34 to go. So does Bowling Green have a miracle in them? A bump on the kickoff return, and Jordan Hopgood with a pretty good return. Now to about the 40-yard line. And Hopgood shaken up on the plays. We'll take a look at some key plays today for San Jose State.
Well, defensively, Travis Johnson creating that big turnover to really help San Jose State ice this game. Then, of course, the play call that was reviewed that was not a fumble. And then, of course, Eskridge takes it in for what should be the knockout blow for San Jose State. Of course, we've seen crazier things happen this bowl season.
Well, last
in
week,
person,
in the first bowl game of the entire bowl season here on ESPN, we were out at the Gildan, New Mexico Bowl, as Hopgood still being looked at by the training staff, and we saw Arizona put together a 2-touchdown comeback in the last 90 seconds of that game to shock Nevada. Bowling Green, though, this is not a Rich Rodriguez paced offense.
Offense looks a little bit different, but you never know. Stranger things have happened.
Yeah, they'll certainly not be in their comfort zone now, having to go hurry up and throw it all over the lot. But Matt Schultz, junior quarterback, number 3 in Bowling Green history in total yards, and number 5 in Bowling Green history in touchdown passes.
Chris Gallen on the outside, it's a big receiver. I'd throw it to him a bunch.
Bullet over the middle is no good. Keith Smith was there with excellent coverage on Burbrink. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Schultz flushed out of the pocket, buying some time, fires it to Gallen, and Gallen is driven backwards and ruled to have been stopped forward progress inbounds, and then reacts and draws a flag.
Hey, you just got to be smarter than that. I know you're frustrated. It hasn't been the best game.
He has to be pulled away by his junior left guard, Dominic Fluellen.
Just kind
After
of a silly.
the play is over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 81 of the offense. 15-yard penalty, it will be 3rd down.
Just a freshman frustration mistake right there. Gallen makes the catch. He's trying to get extra yards, and then watch him. You're not going to hurt anybody by throwing a football at him unless you throw it really hard. And he just flips it at him.
So now that big target you talked about off the field, getting a talking to from some of his teammates, as the redshirt freshman costs his team a down, costs them 15 yards. It'll be 3rd and 25.
There's a look at it. Hey, he's wearing a helmet.
Schultz dancing in the pocket. Throws wide open as Burbrink. He's got it. Close to a 1st down. And a smart play to step out of bounds. In spite of not getting the 1st down, it is 4 down territory, so that preserves time, which is as important as the yardage would be, and it's 4th down and 3. Bowling Green needs 2 touchdowns, or rather 2 scores, I should say, on their 2 possessions, and they only have 2 timeouts left. They have to keep this drive alive, though, 4th and 3. Schultz batted down at the line. Travis Ricidi creates the turnover on downs for San Jose State.
Travis Ricidi on the inside, see him at the interior of the line, recognizes the quick pass, gets that left hand up, bats it down. Nothing Schultz can do. But Travis Johnson and Travis Ricidi step up big for San Jose State defensively. Ricidi, just a sophomore, will be back for San Jose State. Gives his head coach, interim head coach, a big hug.
Eskridge picks up 2 yards, and Bowling Green will have to spend their timeouts. Well, it's time for today's Capital One player of the game. 395 passing yards, a bowl record for San Jose State. For David Fales, 33 of 43, a couple of touchdowns, and his team was minus 22 yards today running the football. So the offense was obviously on him, and he came through.
Yeah, just another day at the office for David Fales. He's been doing it all season long. Really executed this offense extremely well, spread the ball around, knew exactly where to go to the football, made good decisions, some incredible throws. So a solid day for him.
And a very tough day for Matt Schultz. One of the biggest plays of the game was the blindside hit. 2nd down and 9. Eskridge, plenty of room. And that should all but end it. A 1st down carry. And Bowling Green with only 1 timeout left. Not even sure they'll opt to spend it, as now San Jose State can most likely simply take a knee.
It's a great feeling as a team to finish off your season with a bowl win. Getting that victory formation. That'll be a fun plane ride for San Jose State, not so much for Bowling Green.
And Fales will continue to roll the clock. So how about the response by the Spartans? Down, And now a timeout will be called, the final timeout for Bowling Green.
I think San Jose State showed some resiliency. I think that's a sign of some senior leadership on this team. 16 seniors, never got down, even though they struggled a little bit offensively. Kind of had a lull in the second and third quarter. Were able to just keep battling and find some success later in the game.
Tough way for the season to end for Bowling Green.
It's a young Bowling Green team, though. They got a lot of guys returning.
Well, they have all their weapons back on offense next season. So it's back to the victory formation for San Jose State. But for the Spartans, when you lose your head coach, he announces he's leaving for greener pastures. He's going to go coach Colorado and try and do what he has done before, and that is rehabilitate a program. Your interim head coach is Kent Baer, your defensive coordinator. You know he's leaving as well. You know your offensive coordinator, Brian Lindgren, also leaving. So for the San Jose State Spartans, this is the last chance to perform with this coaching staff, and Kent Baer put it perfectly. He said they had a meeting with their players and told them this is not an easy business, but our staff on the way out will give you every ounce of energy to prepare you to win this game. We just ask you to do the same. And the Spartans have. And congratulations as they get a bowl win, 29-20 over Bowling Green. Let's go down to Quinn.
David, congratulations. What made the difference in this ball game?
Just doing the basics again, doing the same things. Our O-line and our receivers made plays. O-line recognized the adjustments, and they made some good calls. So we just came out and did the basics.
What was it like? It seemed like every time you took the league, Bowling Green would answer, and you found yourself behind. What was it like?
You know, they're a good team, so we knew this is the kind of game we were getting into. So we just had to keep doing the same things. Can't let that affect us. And on the offensive side, we're just going to keep doing the same thing, going, driving down and scoring. And our defense did a great job stopping them as well. So it was a good game.
What does it mean to have an 11-win season?
Man, I'm speechless right now. I don't know. To be one of the best teams in San Jose State, to be up there with one of the greatest players, it's crazy. I'm speechless.
Coach Baer told us there are guys on the team who are disappointed and hurt when Coach left. What was that like for you guys to fight through that?
Yeah, he was our leader, but we still, most respect to him, and he had to do what was right for his family. So it was a little chaos at first, but our seniors and our veterans and our captains came together and just said, it's about us. We need to get together and stay together. We got one more game to finish.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Bob.
All right, Quinn, thanks very much. So congratulations not only to David Fales, but the entire San Jose State Spartan team, as they are the 2012 Military Bowl presented by Northrop